So, I thought I'd kind of give you guys an update. I'm hoping this weekend to post a result for what's going to happen with my art. But right now, I thought I'd talk about work. Turns out recently, the most employable person working with us has been has turned in his 2 week notice, and Monday was his last day. So the thing is that I guess that got me thinking because I realized, he's the most employable person. Next to him would be me, not because of age, but because I carry myself professionally, because I try to follow the rules. I try to drive so that the customers, you know, the customers, I'm friendly with the customers. I say hello, I say goodbye, I say, I'm helpful, right? So besides him, I would think that, you know, I would be the second most employable person. But the fact that he left and he's like the most employable person really got me thinking and made me realize that I needed to start looking for another job. And so I have been out there looking for another job, and it's so funny because I got some information from another guy who worked there about somebody who's hiring, and they called me immediately, and they wanted me to, send a copy of my driver's license and my DOT card, which is my medical card, and a I think it's an H6, which is basically a paper that shows a record of your driving. Whether you've gotten tickets, whether you've gotten in accidents, all of that. Well, so I sent him the license and the DOT, and then I went and went to the DMV and got my H6. Now all I have to do is fill out the application online. But anyway, so because he decided to leave, like I said, well, I was trying to record this, but where I work, a lot of Asians work, and they love him. I mean, I've ridden his bus before. He's a kid. He he drives like a 23-year-old, which is acceptable in someone his age, but not acceptable in someone my age. But the fact that he's Asian and there's a huge Asian population we drive makes it so that whatever he does is not, they're still more comfortable with him than they would be with me. But anyway, yeah, so that really got me thinking. So I went ahead and started going through making some choices to find another job. But I thought I'd tell you about another experience that I realized looking for another job is not a bad idea. A couple of weeks ago, this girl I work with, never had a problem with her. Somebody said she's ghetto fabulous. Anyway, that pretty much sums up her personality. Anyway, so one day, all of a sudden, she's never had problems with her bus before. All of a sudden, her bus breaks down, or not even breaks down, but starts losing power. But somehow she managed to get the bus up the hill and into the roundabout area where we wait if we have time before we have to leave. And she and I are usually two persons that have the same leaving time. So we both arrive and we wait till our time, and then we both leave. Whoever arrives there first ends up pulling out first. But so anyway, sorry. This day, her bus breaks down and she gets to the roundabout before I do. Well, so I pull in and I see her bus and I'm going, oh wow, this sucks because the way she's pulled in makes it dangerous for me to try to get by her. And we had this big talk from one of the boss over my boss, and he was telling us that safety doesn't only imply being safe to the customers and being safe to the drivers on the road. We have to what we do has to be safe also, meaning the way we park our bus. When we're not in our bus, we may have to make sure that it's safe and secure and it's not going to roll, and so in how we interact with each other with our buses is part of safety. So now, other drivers, where before they were doing it deliberately, now it seemed like she had to find an excuse, which was her bus broke down in order to park unsafely. So if anything should happen, well, I had to park my bus. My bus broke down. I couldn't do anything about it. So anyway, so she pulls in and she parks, and I'm going, and I don't want to have to pull through by her because I know it's going to be really tight. So anyway, I made the decision to back up. So I'm backing up. All right, put my bus in reverse, and as I'm about to back up, I notice that she is alongside my bus. And so I open the door, and she lays into me, and she's like, "Why can't you get by me? Everybody else was able to get by me. What's your problem? You can't get by me, everybody else, all the other drivers came and got by me fine, but you can't seem to get by me." And she went on and on and on. And she's talking loud, and she's gesturing, and she's acting all ghetto fabulous and everything. And I've got two customers in my bus, and they're Asian, and they're not like American Asians. They're Asians who, just got here, got to the country. So they're really soft-spoken, polite, and they're not used to all that, that noise and that anger and all that attitude that she was caring about. So at first, and while she's talking to me, I'm thinking, well, you know what? This girl can beat my butt. I am not going to say anything. I better just keep quiet. I mean, she is, let's see, I'm 5'4". She's probably about 5'6", 5'7". And she's probably close to 100 pounds heavier than I am, which is easy to do because I think I'm like 115, maybe 120. But so she's a lot bigger than I am. And you know what? I am too old. I'm 50 years old. I am not going to come to fisticuffs with somebody. That's just not me anyway. I'm not that type of person. I don't settle things by fighting. That's just not me. So I just listened to her, and she went on and on and on, and she realized that I wasn't getting angry. I wasn't responding to her anger and her abuse. But while this is going on, I'm thinking, oh, great, these two clients are sitting here. She doesn't even realize that they're there. And I kind of look back at them, and that's when she realized, oh, they're there. We've got clients. But her clients are in the bus behind me, and she's talking so loud that they can hear her too. So anyway, when she finally gave me a little space to talk, I said, well, I can't leave right now because it's not my time to leave. We were not supposed to leave until a certain time, and before that time we can't leave. So I know you want me to pull my bus through, but I've still got 2 minutes. She said, well, I got to get my stuff, so you got to leave. I said, well, I can't leave. And then she says, well, I guess I'll go get my stuff because you got to get by this bus, blah, blah, blah. So she went and got her stuff. I sat for a while. When my time came, I put my bus in gear. I eased by her bus. My mirror probably came that close to her mirror, knocking her mirror. And I had to jump the curb on the left side, but I got on top of the curb, eased down softly, and turned. And as I turned, I looked to my left and realized not only was my two customers witness to this, her bus, but there were other employees from where we work. Some of them were getting to their cars, and they had stopped and paused to see what all this ruckus was going on. So they stopped, and they're watching everything too. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, thank goodness, thank God, that I didn't escalate this whole interaction because everybody's watching, and you know what? Everybody's watching her be crazy, and everybody will say that, I did not respond and I didn't respond to her. And so anyway, it looked like a couple of managers were out there too. So I pulled out, and I later on emailed my boss, and I told him what happened, and nothing's come of it. That's my boss, and that's kind of one of the reasons we're losing the contract is that the drivers are not doing what they're supposed to do, and he's not doing anything about it. The only time he does something about it is if one of the customers complain, then you know, then he does something about it. So that's one reason. And the thing is, I know that I might go somewhere else and find the same thing. Like they say, same crap, different place, right? Meaning, why leave this job when you go to another job and you're going to meet the same thing? Well, that is true, but I want to keep hope alive. I want to think that I might be able to find a job where employees are civil, they're cordial, and they're professional. And I will keep looking for that. I think we are getting, as a society, we are leaving professionalism behind. And the thing is, if you can't get along with other people, how are you going to hold a job? You can't go through your entire life, you know, not knowing how to get along with other people. It doesn't mean you have to like the person. Personally, in my own personal life, these are not people I'd hang out with, and they probably, definitely would not hang out with me, which is fine. But the thing is, when you come together as a group, if you want to be successful, you have to work together as a group. So, you know, uh, it's okay. I mean, if so that's why I'm like, I've kind of thought about things and realized that I need to make that move, and I need to make that move soon, because it's not getting any better. It's getting worse. In fact, one of her friends, um, whenever she has to turn a bus over to me, she like gets down and she just stares at me, with a mean face and everything, and it's like. We're not in high school, I think it's so funny because that's why I'm so happy to get out of high school and get into the real world, is because I was hoping to leave all that behind, the popular kids and all that behind. You know what? We are all allowed to make a living. We're all there to make a living, so I really don't care what you think about me personally. We're all from different walks of life. We're all raised differently. So I don't care if you don't like me. And for some reason, it seems like everybody has decided to hang out by my window today. I think I'm going to have to leave this spot soon, because I noticed that people were noticing me as I pulled in. So it's probably the best thing to leave the spot. But anyway, that's all I have to say for tonight.